Y'all, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, I am finally getting around to this baby. Now, I will say this, it is not my fault that it's taking me this long to get my review up. My package was delayed by like 2 or 3 days actually, and it was really sad and annoying to watch a bunch of people that I know and that I follow on like YouTube and Instagram, you know, show their palettes off and be like, look what I got. And meanwhile, my shipment notification was like, your package is like, I got the shipment notification. I was like, great, it's coming in 2 days. And then I got another, like an updated shipment notification. It was supposed to come on a Saturday. And they're like, no, sis, it's coming on Tuesday of this week. And I was just sort of like, oh, okay, because how am I supposed to do my review without the palette, you know? So I finally got the palette. It's here, it's in my hands. I got to play with it a little bit for a look yesterday, and I've only played with the neutrals. Let me show you what it looks like. Like, what am I doing? Let me show you what it looks like. So this is the baby here. Turn it this way so you guys can really see it. There it is. How stunning is that? And this is called what is she calling this one? This is Celestial Nirvana. So I believe last year's was Celestial Divinity. This is Celestial Nirvana. Beautiful packaging, beautiful palette. I only used yesterday because I wanted to play with the colors on camera. So yesterday I only played with this corner here, and I still even have the plastic on, but I only played with this neutral area here. And I do already have thoughts about those, but I wanted to save them because I wanted to delve into like the more exciting colors in here with you guys. So I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna play with this blue and this green and these shimmers here, this like baby blue and this pink. I think I want to do that. I don't know if that's actually going to work together. Let's swatch them all in my hand together. I don't know if these are going to work together, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me go off camera. I'm going to do one eye first because I just want to get my bearings with this, and then I'll come back and do the second eye and we can talk. All right, guys, so I am back. I have done the first eye. It's intense, but that's kind of what I was going for. I really wanted to play with that green and that blue, so I did. And I also did incorporate this shade here along with this pink, and I also added a little bit of this gold. So these are the three. This is how stained my finger is. That's how pigmented that navy is. But these are the three shimmers or metallics on my eye. Let's go into the other eye, and I can talk about my experience just now using these shades. Now, let's zoom you in a bit more. Now, one thing I will say is that these shades are incredibly pigmented, but they're also incredibly powdery. So do your eyes first. I did my face makeup first, but I did that because I was filming and I wanted to have that done before I sat down to film. But if you are not filming a video, do your eyes first, because as you can see, this is incredibly pigmented, but it is incredibly powdery as well. Let's see if I can replicate this on this eye. I'm very happy with the look itself. I wanted something really intense. That's what I got. I mean, look how pretty, look how much that is building up. It's so pretty. I then took a little bit of the navy shade. I'm gonna tap my brush off here, and I applied that to the outer part here over that green just to deepen it. And I took a little bit and applied it here as well. I'm gonna blend that a little bit more. That is not what I was going for right there, but And then I took the same brush again, tapping it off, and I took the navy shade under my eyes. I probably wouldn't use a brush this big again under my under eyes, but I was clearly feeling like taking a risk. A risk was taken. I'm then gonna clean that up a bit and sharpen it up a bit, like so. Do the same here. And this I can blend. I'm just being kind of lazy about it. I mean, you know, I could blend it and make it look prettier, I guess. But yeah, so far I'm very happy with the colorful shades in this palette. Now, as I said, I had worked with the neutral tones, this like cool tone brown, these shades here, like this cool tone brown, this dark brown, and then these two here. I had played with those yesterday for the first time, and then taking this like bluey metallic-y shade up. I took that a little too far, but we'll fix it. And I have to say, guys, I was a little underwhelmed. I was like, I felt like they weren't as blendable as I'm used to Pat McGrath mattes being. I felt like I was kind of working on them a lot, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to do that. So I was also feeling I was kind of feeling some kind of way about that because I was rushing to get out of the house. And I was like, it does not usually take me this long to blend out some Pat McGrath shadows. Like, it just doesn't, you know? So I was feeling like, why is this taking me so long? And I stand by that because I did feel like they weren't quite as impactful as some of her other like brown shades, you know, her really rich browns and burgundies that you put on, and they're just like pigment, and you really have to go in with a light hand if that's what you're going for, if you're going for that really like soft light look. I got that without trying, and I was a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like, am I gonna not like this palette? Which would be a shame because it's like the most colorful palette she's truly ever done, even with her mothership. So I was just I was concerned, y'all. I was worried. But I'd seen other people's reviews. I was jealously watching other people's reviews. I usually try not to watch other people's reviews, but I was so pissed about not having my palette that I was like, I'm gonna watch some reviews. And everyone has such a good experience with the colorful shades. Not a lot of people were using the neutral shades. And again, the reason why I chose to use the neutral shades because I wanted to use the colorful ones for the first time on camera. So I was like, well, I want to get a feel for this palette, but I also don't want to like use, and I'm using this ColourPop pencil, which I feel like might be a little dried out. It is called Canopy, and I think this is, I don't know where this is from. I don't know if it's from a collab or if it's one of their just green shades, but I feel like this is maybe dried out. Had it a while, so that is the one drawback to the ColourPop pencils, even though I love them, is that they can dry out quickly. They don't last as long as some others. I might go back over that with a different green. It's not like I don't have other greens to choose from. But yes, I was a little concerned, but I had seen so many people have great experiences with the colorful shades that I was like, okay, I'm gonna reserve judgment. I'm gonna wait until I've sat down and played with these shades that are the reasons why I bought the palette in the first place. I didn't buy the palette for the brown. You know, I have a million browns, and not only do I have a million browns, but I have a million Pat McGrath browns. So it's not like this is, you know, these aren't the stars of the show, so to speak, you know. And I honestly still feel that way because these colorful shades, I usually don't do my mascara on camera because it's just obnoxious, but to try to do on camera, but I figured I'd just do that while I'm talking to you guys really quickly, and clean this up. Are these matching? Do my eyes match? I don't know. They never do, so why am I even like concerned about that? So yes, this is the finished look basically. I'm actually really happy with it. This is so unbelievably pigmented, and my eyes were watering, and usually when my eyes water, that is usually does not bode well for shadows, but this is actually doing all right. All right, let me zoom you guys out and we'll talk some more. Okay, so face is done. I'd already, like I said, I already done my face makeup. You know what I have on my lips, guys? Penny Beige, of course. What else would it be? Blush is Desert Orchid, of course. What would it be? Mascara is my beloved Bite, discontinued. Bite, the whole brand's discontinued, but the thing that I care about the most, which is the mascara, is discontinued, of course, as well. So yeah, let me give you my thoughts on this. So I'm really impressed by, and this is the first impressions when it comes to the colorful shades. I'm really impressed by this, and I'm very relieved because I feel like, and I don't know if anyone else has had this experience who has this palette, I feel like this is such an awkward palette to hold. These shades here, these four, are pretty lackluster. Like, specifically this like gold shade, which for some reason this one here swatches really nicely, but it does not show up on the eyes as well. It's kind of chunky. I wet my brush. I still felt like I wasn't getting, it was chunky, but I wasn't getting a lot of payoff. The browns, they're okay. I mean, whatever. Not very impressed by those. But these rich, deep tones that are what I bought this palette for. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I bought this palette for the navy blue. I bought it for the green. I bought it for this, you know, this red. I bought it for this orangey tone. I didn't even buy this for the purples. I have a million purples. These are the tones that I bought it for. So with that in mind, and having used the two shades that I was the most drawn to with this palette, I am happy. I am very happy. Do I like this as much as I love Celestial Divinity? I don't know yet. The Celestial Divinity was my favorite palette of 2021. So this has a very, you know, it's a high bar to get to that level, you know, right now. And this is a second impression, but first impression with the colorful tones. And I am very impressed. I would say this about the difference between the two, is that I do feel that Celestial Divinity is a more, I hate the term everyday use, but I guess for lack of a better term, an everyday use type of palette. That is a palette that you can sit down and you can create beautiful looks with, but it's also a palette that you can take some shades and throw them on your eye and go out the door. I do not feel that way about this palette. Even with the neutral tones, I found myself having to work with them. And that is not something that if you're just trying to throw shadows in your eye, you should have to do. However, if you are trying to create a beautiful, colorful look, this was so easy to do. This eye took me 5 minutes tops, and that's including mascara. Beautiful. You saw how quickly I did this eye. It's a beautiful, easy to use, colorful palette, and that's saying something, you know. Colors can be very intimidating. They can be very hard to blend on top of each other. I blended the navy blue with the dark green. They blended with each other beautifully, seamlessly. I love the mattes in this palette. And the shimmers I'm still working on. I've only used a few at this point. These two, this one is nice. I feel like I want to use it more, but I do like the look that I created. Actually, I kind of want to take a little bit of this pink and just, oh, I got it on my lashes. Pop that. I don't know if that even shows up on camera, but do you see that? Some of you guys, look how pretty that is. Just that pop of pink there. Oh, that's pretty. I like that even more now. All right, Pat. All right. So yeah, so my first impression with this is I think the colorful mattes are where it's at. I'm not impressed by the shimmer, the neutral shades, or those kind of neutrally shimmers. I'm not really that impressed by those. These I'm giving more use to as far as the more colorful metallics in the palette. I need to work with more. But so far, I'm feeling like I like this palette. I don't know if I love it yet because, you know, like I said, I've only used it twice, but I can't say to you guys how impressed I am with the colorful shades. And I don't know why I'm impressed like that, because I know Pat can formulate a beautiful matte, which is why I was given pause by the neutral mattes in this palette when I used them, because they didn't feel like they were quite the same quality as her other neutral mattes that I've used. But these colorful shades, Pat was like, I feel like she just sprinkled a little of the neutrals in for the girls. She's like, for the girls, for the basic girls who want a little browns. She didn't put a lot of energy into those. She was like, the palette's about the colors, and the colors will be fly. The colors will be on point. The colors will be the stars of the show. Not only because of the color palette, but also because of the quality. And so if that's sort of the point of view that she's going with this palette, I think she nailed it. I don't think I'll reach for the neutrals in this palette, but I will definitely reach for the colors. I was very, very impressed with the way that these mattes performed. So, in conclusion, this palette is 82 doll hairs, which is expensive, but it's also a luxury brand. I know a lot of people love to harp on how expensive Pat McGrath is, and I want to say to you, baby girl, it's luxury makeup. That's all I gotta say. I mean, you can argue if you think luxury makeup is worth it or not. That's a whole other conversation, I think, that we can have. But I also want to say that, like, when you're purchasing luxury makeup, you can't be mad that it's the price point of luxury makeup. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're going to the drugstore and you see an $82 palette and you're like, whoa. No, Pat McGrath is luxury. Period. She is. You know, this is, for her, this is on the low end. I don't think $82 is too much for this. Her last year's holiday palette, Celestial Divinity, was $75. So she has gone up a whole $7 hairs. But so has everyone else. You know, Natasha Denona's midi palettes used to be $65. Now they're $69. Huda Beauty used to be $65. Now she's $67. Do you see where I'm going? Everyone's price points are going up, and I think that has a lot to do with chain supply issues, and also just the fact that everything is costing more lately. I mean, we are in a cost of living crisis, as they say. So if you're spending money on something like this, you're going to be spending money on something like this. I do think that this is worth, for Pat McGrath, I think this is worth the money. If you don't think it's worth the money, if you're like, I don't think Pat McGrath, I don't think any brand is worth the money, cool. Do you? For me, personally, I think it was worth my money, and I'm happy with it. I want to play with it more. I am very, like I said, I can't say it anymore. I am so impressed with these colorful mattes, and that's why I'm saying I don't know yet, because I loved Celestial Divinity so much, and I used it. That was a palette that I used almost on a daily basis for a really long time. I don't know if this is a palette I would use on an everyday basis because of the colors. Like, I love colorful makeup, but I haven't been wearing a ton of it out because, you know, my lifestyle is just different right now, and I don't wear a lot of colorful makeup out. I tend to wear, if I'm wearing eye makeup, it does tend to be leaner on the more neutral or natural side. Doesn't mean there's not a place in my collection or in my life for this, but I just don't think use, as far as use goes, as far as numbers of use, you know, number of uses rather, I don't think this is something that I would reach for as much as I reached for Celestial Divinity. But I still feel like I want to play with this, and maybe I'll surprise myself and I'll be playing with it a ton, because like I said, these colorful mattes are stunning, and I want to play with these tones here. I might do a look with these. I'm excited, y'all. I feel really excited to play with this palette. And isn't that the point? Isn't that the point with makeups, to be excited to reach for it, excited to play with it? If something isn't inspiring to you, if you looked at this palette and you were like, this does not inspire me, don't buy it. Save your money. But if you're like me and you were like, you know what, I think I could, I feel good about that. And honestly, when I bought it, I wasn't sure if I was going to feel inspired by it. But for me, the formula and the colors that I love and that I reach for when I do reach for color are in this palette. I'm excited and I'm inspired. And so I want to play with it a little bit more. But as of now, my first impression, I say this is worth the money. I also picked up the 5-pan palette, the neutral one that she has, sort of cool tone one with the gold. I did pick that up. It arrived today when I got home from work, but it is very late. This video is going up late. It's going up on the same day because your girl is busy and I just haven't had a chance to like film a lot of videos at once. I just haven't had the time to do that. But so everything is sort of like, I gotta get it up, gotta get it up. I'm hoping that things will calm down a bit. I don't foresee that happening in the near future. I've got a lot going on professionally and I've got a lot going on personally. It's a double whammy. So we'll see. My goal, y'all, is to just try to get my videos up on the day that it's supposed to go. I don't know if they're going to be extra special, extra right now, but they're going to go up and I'm going to give you the content that I promised you. That's my goal and that I promised myself. So I don't know when the other video is going to go up as far as reviewing that 5 pan, but I'm really excited to use it, especially after using this one, because those neutral tones are really like calling my name, and I really want to do like a grungy eye with those, like a I can't wait. So I feel like I want to sit down, I want to play with that a little bit, and then I'll come back on camera and play with it for you guys on camera, and we can talk about how I feel about that one. Yeah, so if you enjoyed today's video, guys, please be sure to hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.